Hey, good afternoon again. Well, depending on which order you watch these in, this will be the first video you watch today, and the other one will be the second. So it won't be again, will it? Anyhow, this is model cars and black cherry water in my case. They're out of my wild berry. Well, they had it in the powder form in the little packets, but they didn't have it in the squirt bottles. Went to Myers. Oh, what a day I had. It was probably 11:45, and I figured, okay, I'm going to go. I had to mail a package. The Camaro slot car body that's in the thumbnail got done yesterday, and so this Nova here I'm about to show you. So I shipped the Camaro before I made this video. So I went to the post office. That went quick enough. I ran down the road to Meyer, and their parking lot is packed. It looked like the day before Thanksgiving or something. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? Maybe because it's football Sunday and everybody got out of church and they're getting all their food for the week and for the afternoon so they could sit down in front of the TV the rest of the day and watch football and pig out. I don't know, but it was packed. I mean, it was like hard to get up and down the aisles. That's how many people were in the effing store today. So I get my shopping done finally. And now it's like much later. I'm like, really? I left 11:45. And so I get home. It's about 1:15 now. I start unloading the car, which is only a handful of bags. But then I had the big 40 pack of water on the back seat. And I went out to get that. And I'm like halfway between the truck and the house. And the package rips down the sides. And about 30 of those 40 bottles hit the ground. So I had to take, take inside what I had, go back out and make how many trips back and forth. Some of them rolled under the truck. I had to go crawling under there to get them. Like, what a pain in my... Ugh. But anyhow, I made my video for the USAC entry and show you what I'm up to date on. This one is done. The Nova wagon. Yep. I'm going to throw a plate on it for the gentleman. It's sold, but it's not left yet because he's a good customer and he's already given me down payment. And so, yeah, this will be going to him later in the week when he pays the rest of it. And, of course, I've shown you the this thing. And here's the nose. It's going to have the twin turbos in it, the inlets, which have been painted with the chrome paint, but they're going to get dulled down a little bit. And they, it didn't cover it completely, so I'll put some black wash in there, because they were originally like 3D printed with some kind of blue plastic. They have a tint to them. And here comes Deuce to bother me, and then they get inserted from the rear. I already have the headlights reamed out. So it's going to be twin turbo. And it'll get dulled down a little bit so it's not as chromy. And I got to do the back bumper yet. I got to do this. You see the chutes mounted. Deuce, really? Here's the chute. If it'll focus here. Yeah, there we go. Come on. The remove before flight thing. And I got the, and then this here wing. Deuce, get down. We'll go, you know. This is a 3D printed wing I got from Giant Killer slot car bodies. And so that'll get glued on there like that. And the tail lights and the rear bumper, which was going to get dull coated too and weathered a little bit. So there's that. Deuce, come on, get down. Get down. And this is one of my, from my own personal group build, which I seem to be flying solo in. I think Kelly Coons is in too to a degree. But this is my 10 by 1110. My goal to get 10 of my partially started or partially completed, however you want to look at it, projects, done by my birthday on November 10th. I only got 2 out of 10 done. So, like I said in the previous videos, not all of these are going to get wiring and brake lines or, you know, everything. A lot of super detail because, you know, they're just going to get built for shelf models. So I've been hand rubbing on this. I think this was painted with the old testers, the lacquer they had, the automotive matching lacquers. that they don't sell anymore. I really wish they would bring back, because this is the Chrysler, the Dodge, Sublime Green, and you're supposed to use it with a two-part. Either that or I did clear it. I must have cleared it because I've been rubbing on it. I'm getting very little, if any, green on the cloth. So apparently it got cleared, but it's still flattened out. So I had this part rubbed out and a little bit of this, and it was in the box. So I just pulled it out last night and started finishing on it. The only weird thing is, I don't know how it happened sitting in the box. Some paint literally flaked off it there. So I'm going to have to use some of the Tamiya green on a brush, which is almost identical. And, whatchamacallit, just brush touch it. Maybe this is the Tamiya green that dulled down. I don't remember. And, of course, the window's going to be tinted and black border, so you're not going to see much inside that it's not really painted. I wanted this lid to stay on, so I glued it on bare plastic, so, it's never coming off. And the body's painted up, and you can see it was almost flat. Now it's, got some good gloss to it. I may give it a little bit more. And there's one more place where some paint flaked off. Where the hell was it? Oh, yeah, right down there on the bottom of the door. You can see some of the wax residue, polish. I gotta get out of there, but I'm like, how the hell did that happen? It's sitting in a box. And it ain't like the box has been moved around. There's this here. Whoop, yeah, now I knock it around, dummy. This slot car body, which is closing in. A lot of the slot car body guys likes full side windows. And this kid only has, the vent, the rear window, and these are open. So I'm just going to use one piece of clear sheet plastic and make a one piece, cover this whole thing in one. And so it's going to get side windows because a lot of the guys, especially one of my customers, love side windows. Now, some of the tracks require them, some don't. His track does, so he always wants side windows. Not that it's a deal breaker. If I don't have it in, he'll throw some in himself, but he prefers I throw them in, and so I'll do that. But, however, the hood I had a cowl hood, and it was supposed to be for this car, and it fit. It fit the contours, all that. Only thing is, it didn't come down far enough. There's a big gap between it and the top of the grill. So I'm thinking, I tried the 57. It doesn't fit the 57's opening on the Revell kit. So it must be for the AMT 55. So now I don't have a hood for this because I probably got rid of it when I parted it out. So I either got to wait for the swap meet this weekend and see if I could find a hood, buy a hood online, another cowl hood for it, a proper one, or buy a whole other kit, take the hood out, paint it close to this as I can get. I have the paints, and just put it on here and get this thing done so I can sell it. And then I'll have a kit without a hood. I could always order another hood for it, or I can make a gasser out of it and have it hoodless, or a street machine. So that's my options. But yeah, I was really disappointed. But I still gotta mount the taillights and black wash them and put the lights on themselves, the lenses, and I gotta put the door handles on and all that good stuff. Excuse me, let me get a drink of this. But anyhow, yeah, that body be done. I got a guy that said he wants it, but he's kind of short on cash right now, he said. So on the other car I showed him yesterday, he goes, oh, I want that, but he goes, no, I got a roof to put on the house, so I'm going to pass. So he may pass on this when it's done, but by the time it's totally done, he may go, on second thought, I'll take it. If not, if he doesn't take it, somebody will. One of the slot car guys will. So, yeah. So that one, I just got, like I said, black wash the grill and mark it. Just do little things like that. Fix the hood and it's done. Where else are we? Oh, in the way of, here's the engine for the Love. Now it's supposed to be some kind of, it's not really a small block per se. It's a extra small block, because what do they call it? They call it a 262 V8 on the box, which could be like one of those engines out of a Cutlass, or an Olds, or a Buick Regal or something. I'm not sure. Or this other Monte Carlos. I'm not sure what engines those are in, but that's just a Tamiya orange. Like I said, a lot of these aren't getting detailed to the hilt. Oh, I'm going to paint the starter and the fuel pump and the headers. I'll paint some around this element, and I'll paint the oil filter, and I put the belts and pulleys. But it's getting basically just, very, 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 out of the box. I may put the tacky decals on it. It has all those, like that little mural and the black, red, and orange. I may do it just to be tacky, because hell, it's a 70s, type of thing. So, disco era, but it don't look bad. And it's sitting on these wheels and tires instead of those, I think they're 8 lug wheels, which look ridiculous. So these are the Daisy wheels, big and littles. So it's going to get those. Interior is going to be basic black. As you can see, it has no door handles. It doesn't even really necessarily have a back cushion. I mean, the back seat is the back wall of the interior tub. It's very basic. So that's why I'm not even getting too anal about it. It's going to be one of those cars that's going to look cool on the shelf, but up close, it ain't contest worthy or nothing, but it's cool. So that's where I'm at on that. Then I got to get my butt moving on all these other group builds I have, because I think I mentioned in the last video, I thought the Mercury for Kim's Custom Garage was October 28th. No, I think it's October 1st or 2nd. Then Mars Garage is September 30th, which gives me like 15 days or so to finish that up, which really isn't going to be hard because it's mostly done. I'm not going to go crazy town on wiring it, even though those modern engines have wires and hoses everywhere. I'm probably just going to run some simulated wires and cables here and there to fill up the engine compartment and get it on wheels and tires and get it done. Then the Mercury, let me show you the Mercury. It's here. This is the one that I attempted the masking kit on. The Lazy Modeler mask. They make flame mask kits. And they are very cool, don't get me wrong. But because of the color of the car I used, it was hell. I mean, if I was using colored flames, you'd probably see the imperfection to where they don't match up. Because you put the hood down first, and you only got one chance at it. If I ever do another one again, I'm going to use something to clearly mark the dead center and then try to lay it on. I got the hood good, but getting the two side pieces, there's an overlap, and I can't quite understand where it's at. And because of the color and the transparency of it on this color, it's almost invisible. It was really hard to see where I'm at. I was able to lay it down the bottom edge against this door. Now the ghost flames, what I did, and I should have used, you can kind of see them there, and I can't feel them, and I haven't even wet sanded this yet, so they're there. I mean, they're barely visible. I mean, I wanted a little less of a ghost and maybe a slight more contrast, because what I did is I hit them with some pearl clear. I dumped some of my powder in, then I unmasked it, and I mixed up a slightly different pearl and put it over the whole body. I should have really maybe gone a little more contrasting on here, but it still looks cool. I think once it's wet sanded, but the only thing is I did screw it up when I was unmasking it. I should have used tweezers the whole time. My nail just kind of caught the clear, but it's going to get wet sanded. I took some of the paint and just dabbed it over there, and it'll blend. I'm not going to get anal. Like I said, this thing's got, till October 1st to get done. That means the chassis and interior, engine got to get done yet. So that'll let this cure out. I want to let it at least set for a week before I wet sand it. Not that it's bad now. I mean, I think it looks pretty damn good. You can almost clearly see the reflection of the lamp. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's going to look killer when it's all done. But yeah, so that's another one I'm working on. And speaking of Mars Garage, there's the interior. Dash isn't glued in yet. I used the decals for the gauges that they give you. And I just painted the rest up and painted the seat, Don't know how factory accurate it is, but gave it that old look, and I'll probably dirty it up a little bit more and put some duct tape repairs on it. I got to put a shifter off the floor because now it has the Well, it gave you the column shift that it came with because it is a manual transmission vehicle. But I'm going to put a floor shift in it, and then, it's got the manual transmission engine. But on the engine, I looked at a picture of the real thing, and there's like, harnesses run here and there. I mean, you don't see the individual spark plug wires. So I'm just going to run some simulated, harnesses up and over and then like down through the firewall. Because if you did put this engine in a new vehicle, you'd have to take the ECM and all that in a harness with you. So I'm going to make it look like, it's underneath the dash or something, and just run a bunch of cables through there, and then a brake booster, line off of here, that kind of thing. Just make it look, even though this truck looks like it has manual brakes, so I'm just going to give it some assorted cables, and it's drive-by wire. There's no throttle cable. So I'm just going to run some miscellaneous harnesses just so it looks... I really wish somebody would come up with the split loom wiring looking stuff. It wouldn't actually be split loom. You would never really use it. But, some of that corrugated stuff would look so cool in 1/24th, 1/25th scale. And as for this, going back to this one, this firewall is like I'll strip of nothing. And even though, I'm not going to go crazy on it, I'm going to touch that up. That's where I have my pliers to hold the body. I'll just brush paint that. But I'm going to brush paint these details, different colors, black and white and silver and brass and gold or whatever, just to give it some color. But I am going to grab a parts box master cylinder, probably one without a booster. Just put a master cylinder on there, and maybe two, maybe one for the brake cylinder, and that's it. It's not going to get crazy on there. I don't think I'm doing spark plug wires or anything on it. Just give it some love. But yeah, and then what else do we got here? What else has Joe been up to? Joe, finally, I ordered this through Iceman. Figure I'll get the premiere issue. Pretty cool to actually hold a magazine in hand again. I used to get the old scale autos. I really loved it. I had scale autos back in high school. I think my first one was somewhere in September, 82, I think was my first issue. I actually had 3 of the same one because I subscribed way back like in the spring, I think. And I didn't get an issue. And I really didn't realize they were bi-monthly, but even then I should have had one. So finally I write them and I said, hey, I haven't got an issue yet. And they're like, okay, we'll get one right out to you. Well, about a week later, an issue shows up. No, it didn't show up yet. I'm like, geez, really? So I write them again. I'm like, I still haven't seen that. They'll go, okay, we'll get one out to you. Well, then like a week later, one shows up. And about a little less than a week later, another one shows up. And then another one shows up. I had 3 of the same issue. So I took them over to the hobby shop that I used to go to a lot then, over on South Avenue. And I dropped them off there. And he's a real cool guy. I said, hey, could you sell these for me? I said, and he didn't even take a commission. He goes, oh, I'll just let you know. I said, just put them, toward my next purchase. So I put them there, and a couple people came in and bought them. And so that was cool. But yeah, I had, those issues then. So from like 82 up. And then somewhere in the, I don't know when I stopped buying them. Because I subscribed for like 2 years, and I just bought them at the store. And then when they went through the transition, I kind of stopped buying them. Then I got out of model building for a while in the mid-late 90s, so I didn't buy any during that period. Then even after that, I rarely bought them. And I really regret selling all the older ones, like the Mercury issue and the 57 Chevy comparison issue. I really miss those. But I do have Scale Auto's final issue here. This was their last one, so I got a first and I got a last. So I'll probably eventually subscribe to this, unless one of the hobby shops start carrying them. I mean, I could maybe pick them up at I'll have to see if they're carried at Barnes & Noble or something. But yeah, so I got those, and yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, I wanted to make my model cars and flavored water for the day. And, well, that's about it. I'm going to go get back into this stuff, and I'll be updating you on all these. I'm sitting here watching what I normally watch, YouTube. What am I watching? I'm watching Roadkill TV, the on and off road trip in the Scrambler, episode 12. No, season 12, episode 7. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. Network television, the only thing I watch on there is the news and the world news, and there's no series I watch anymore since Big Bang Theory left. And the only streaming service I have now currently is Netflix. And even then, I hardly use it. I subscribe to Spotify, which I use a lot of, mainly at work. I listen to music there. And I let a lot of them expire because I didn't have money at the bank, and they expired, they shut off, and I never renewed them. So like, the only thing that kills me about those damn subscription services, there's certain shows on certain ones. Well, they discontinue and they put them on this one. Now you have to buy this one, but now they move it to this one. I'm like, really? I mean, seriously, you guys got to move them around. It's very irritating. So now, like, if I want to watch South Park and I want to watch The Orville and I want to watch this, I need like 4 different damn frickin' services to get it. I'm like, oh, I wish they'd put them into one, like a lump deal. I heard someone say the other day on the news, on the radio, they're going, with, having a, internet and then subscribing to all these subscription services, it's almost as much, if not more, than cable was. And, but of course there's certain shows that aren't on cable. So I'm trying to look for a good, all-in-one service. I used to have a thing called Big Earns, which gave you like all the major networks, all the cable networks, and then some. You had foreign channels, you had the adult channels, you could watch anything, everything. But of course, it didn't have the Netflix or the Hulu and those exclusive shows. But I don't know how he got away with it, but he eventually closed up, and so I'm kind of looking for something else that's like an all-in-one. I really hate subscribing to all this, for stuff I just watch one of. I guess the only thing to do on some of them is just buy them on DVD if they're available in the series and be done with it, But YouTube, yeah, that's what I watch the most. I watch a lot of your channels out there. I watch the Roadkill TV and all the other versions of that. Muscle car garages and stuff. And I watch some other music videos and concerts and occasionally a movie on there. And even then, I'm probably going to end up subscribing to their non-commercial crap because I hate commercials. But hey, holy shit, this video is already 23 minutes long. I probably bored you to death, so I'm going to get going now for sure. So hey, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.